Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, three-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
See if anybody shows up to join us at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. I highly, without
5 o'clock
letting anyone know we're going live. What, Tone?
5 o'clock here.
5 o'clock in the evening by you. Your whole day is done.
My camera has not. I just want to say this really fast. Have you noticed my camera is not flashing on me the last two episodes?
No, it looks good.
Yeah.
What did you do?
I have no idea.
Fair enough. We're the Uncle Puckers tonight. Tony, Tim, I'm Chris. There's like such the longest off season ever. Nothing is happening. That so much so, Tony, I'm exactly like you. We were talking a little off mic. I am psyched for preseason football. I've never in my life been excited for preseason football, but I am.
Yeah.
Sorry,
we
Steven.
Were watching the Raider game last night.
Wait, hang on real quick. I just got Steven just wrote, come on, Dicks, do this shit at 8 at night, LOL. Tony is 7 hours ahead. We do this shit at 8 at night. It's like 3 a.m. for him, and it's not really fair. So once in a while, we try and get on
regular season. It's different.
Right,
so
after a big game, something. But, in the middle of August, we can hop on early for Tony. So that's why we're doing it so early. So Ashton Genty is going to be a problem, dude.
Yeah, it's obviously really boring offseason, especially I'm trying to think if there's been a worse Devils offseason in years that I've noticed. Just boring. Not much going on. Even all around the NHL, even it's been kind of boring. So I'm watching the game last night, Raiders preseason. I figured starters maybe which is pretty much what happened. I was getting way too excited, man. When the first touchdown went in, my wife even told me, she's like, dude, it's only preseason. I was like, I'll take anything right now.
Yeah, but you're allowed to get hyped for that first touchdown of preseason, I think that's okay. That first big cool play of preseason, you're like, hell yeah, we're back.
And everyone's talking shit last week because he was negative 6 yards and 3 carries. I mean, come on. It's one preseason game. The guy had maybe 3 carries. I mean, who cares? It's insane how they start judging you right away.
The thing that drives me crazy. Well, first off, why are we douche of the week? Why do we win the douche of the week award? I'm happy to win the douche of the week award, Steven. I mean, that's an awesome award.
I think the douche of the week was rolling out a red carpet for a murderer.
I could probably use it. I could probably use a douche to take care of this poison ivy.
What, a douche?
Yeah, it'd be nice and cool, soothing douche on my poison ivy.
Go buy some vinegar.
Ivy, man. That sucks, dude.
Dude, Tony, I am covered head to toe.
It's the sweat, dude.
Like you can see some of this shit. Like,
what did you do?
There's an area behind my barn that is that's really overgrown. It's one of the last areas that I've been trying to clean up.
You just can't stop playing in it.
It's like dirt, but there's like this whole root ecosystem in it, and then there's like underneath is a concrete patio. So we're trying to clear up that patio and turn it into a wood mill, and so I'm like shoveling up the dirt and getting in. What?
Are you Amish?
No, the guys over there are Amish.
Okay.
I'm getting close. I don't know.
You have like a buggy and stuff with the horses?
No, but in my area there are, like the yellow signs like watch out for kids and stuff like that. We do have a lot of those like with like watch out for Amish buggies.
Right.
And it's like a picture of the guy that like I was going to the driving range the other day and I got stuck behind one.
Send me a picture, please, of the Amish buggy street crossing signs.
Yeah, if
you hit an Amish kid, right, and you do no one would find out, and it's nighttime, would you toss it to the side and take off? Or
I mean, I think that's what they do.
If no one would find out, Chris, what would you do? What do you? I mean, life in prison or toss the kid to the side and take off. What do you do?
Okay, well, why life in prison? If I hit him with accidentally in my car, it's not going to be now. Am I?
Say you had 2 years at the bar before you went to.
All right, so I'm banged up. I know I shouldn't have driven. I got in my car and I hit an Amish kid. How old is the kid?
8. Say he's always had a couple good years already.
Bury an 8-year-old and forget about it. No.
Does this kid have a future in society or just in the Amish society?
No, he's Amish.
So no. So keep on driving.
I wonder what it's like being an Amish kid. Like do you have?
Here he is. it's the one demographic of people that you can go onto a podcast and make complete fun of, and they will never, ever, ever find out.
The Mennonites.
Gets
Tim, the
fucking
Mennonites.
hung up tonight and gutted.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's stop
Fucker
talking about
logo
this.
stuck
You
up
would
his
just
ass.
toss the 8-year-old Amish kid to the side.
No, I would do the honorable thing and pull over, call 911, and take my punishment.
But
Because
what if you knew Tim? There's no heaven, there's no hell. There's only a jail time if you get caught. Or you toss the kid to the side, you drive home, you forget about it, and you're free. What do you do?
I would never forget about it. That would eat me. That would eat me alive.
I think Chris
Have
would
you
keep
ever
on
seen,
fucking driving. I'm in. Sorry, Chris.
It would
throwing
be
up
something
with
that I would think about every single day of my life. So no, like so this area behind my barn, like it's just like all the roots underneath are all fucking poison ivy, I guess. And like I was really careful. I was wearing like really thick leather gloves, but it's like an oven back there.
Ooh, I have a
And
question. Does poison ivy have thorns on the vines? Okay, because
I've never had
I-
poison ivy.
well, I've never had it either, but my downstairs air conditioning unit crapped the bed, so my HVAC guy called me 2 days ago, Friday night, 11:30 at night. He's like, "I'm in the neighborhood. I'm coming over. I want to check it." So he came over, checked it, and it was like overgrown around it. And he's like, "Oh fuck!" He's like, "That's poison ivy, dude." He's like, "Can you you got gloves or something?" I'm like, I'll get it out. And then when I went over, I grabbed it, and a bunch of thorns got in my hand. I'm like, I don't think that's poison ivy, dude. It was all
No,
thorns. So yeah, that
it
hurt.
doesn't. No, it is not. It is not. Leaves a 3, leave it be. Leaves a 5, let it thrive.
I want to get that tattooed. You should get that tattooed on yourself.
Yeah, no shit. I should put it like write it on my hand.
Right.
How many times have you had poison ivy, Tim?
This week?
This week.
This summer,
How spread is it?
here to here, from my belly button down to my balls.
I'm with Steve. We are definitely douches of the week. And second podcast in a
The only
row.
place
Running over Amish
Poison
kids.
ivy stories.
The only place I don't have it is like my kind of upper thighs.
You got it in
Literally
your
fucking
bunghole.
head to toe covered. Yes. It's spread there somehow. But I've discovered that if you a really, really like scorching hot shower, if you point the water at it, it's one of the best feelings I've
See,
ever had.
I would think a cooler shower would soothe more than a hot shower. It's strange.
They both do, but the hot makes it feel a certain way. The cool shower is what relieves it. So like because it's itchy, the super hotness, like super hotness. The super hotness makes it like it's like itch relief. Like it feels like you're itching it super hard, but you're not.
I got
And then
you.
the cool
The
cools it
immortal
off.
itch.
So now I'm like burning through like because we have oil heat for our water. So now I'm burning through like gallons and gallons of hot water. Anyway, poison ivy.
Dude, Steven, seriously, they have the best freaking pies ever. I love this place. I don't know if any one of you guys have ever been to Delicious Orchards up in Colts Neck, but it is the bomb. And they should definitely like sponsor our show because I would love to do Delicious Orchards ad reads and get free pie.
Oh,
But Steven, enjoy, buddy. Hey guys, would you trade Andre Palat and Dawson Mercer for Mason McTavish?
yeah.
Would you kick in any kind of sweetener? Because I don't even know if that's enough, to be honest with you. It should be enough.
Oh, it should be, and it frees up a good amount of cap space to sign both Dougie and Luke.
Luggy. Is that your love for Dougie?
That's his son's
Luggy?
name.
Oh, I finally got to write my Dougie love letter, which I was very
Yes,
happy
yes,
about.
you did. And
I
I
gotta
hope
read this. I have not read anything of this yet. You gotta let me
didn't
know where
get
to
it?
find this.
So all about the jersey.com.
Yeah, so at the end of the show, you guys can do all your silly little plugs for your other endeavors. You're all about the Jersey, your Tampa Morgue. I do nothing. I
Amish
just
kids.
do this
At
show.
theamish.com.
Yeah, my Amish
Run
murder
over.
ring with my car. So I did see a
Amish.
funny thing the other day. It was like Never mind. That's stupid. Actually, never mind.
You said it was funny. Now you're saying it's stupid. What is it?
Well, it's hard to explain. Have you ever seen the meme where it's like, have you ever seen Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Yes.
I don't know if it's. So you know the scene where the kid's a good singer, they're singing, they're auditioning for the play. So there's a meme where all the other bad kids are singing, and it's like these are all and the meme is these are the options for doing something until the good kid sings, and this is like the best way to do it.
Right.
So it was the best way to kill a deer. And it was like the girl singer was like a 30-06, and then another one was 22, and another one was a handgun. And then the kid starts singing really well, and it's like my GMC Sierra at 1 a.m.
My buddy is a cop here in town, but before he got this job, he was out near a small town in like Hamilton County, like Hamilton Township. Like it was this, little podunk town in Western Jersey, and he got a call because
I know Hamilton's right where I grew up. That's where Bobby's kids playing.
Right. It was. Yeah. I don't know exactly what town it was.
This is who I'm thinking
Hamilton.
of, right, Chris?
What?
This is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he gets a call from this guy that a deer ran and put his head through the board-on-board fencing in their backyard, and he couldn't get out. So my buddy and his partner show up, and they're like messing. The guy's like doesn't want to take the whole fence down. The deer's in distress, all this other stuff. And his partner takes his gun out. He's like, just gotta put this thing down. And my buddy's like, dude, can't shoot the deer. Like, we have to try to get this fucking thing's head out. So after like 45 minutes, they finally get the deer's head out. The deer head comes out. He backs up, runs right into the fence again, and gets his head fucking stuck in the thing. His partner takes a gun out, shoots the deer right in the head.
It's fucked up that we're laughing at that, but it's pretty funny.
I would have loved to have seen
It's the
that.
Lord's Day.
Have you were deer a problem in like the Toms River area? Because in like Cranberry, Hamilton, Princeton area, like they were like almost a plague. Like I've hit 3 deer in my lifetime in that area.
When
I spent 3 years in West Virginia, so there was definitely deer problems.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
People would hit
There's
them.
a lot of
eat them.
Yeah, there's a lot of deer here. We used to live, our old house was actually on a pretty busy road, and one night the kids were really little, and I was watching TV and I heard a car just like slam on their brakes, and I look out the window and there's this little Volkswagen, and it hit a buck, and the buck then ran across my front yard, through my driveway, into my backyard. We had like an acre and a half of property. So it looked like the buck was fine. Like I didn't think anything of it because it was a little Volkswagen, whatever. So I'm at work the next day. My wife's out with my son, who at that time was probably like 3 years old. And they were out in the backyard playing, and there was this huge buck just dead in the backyard. So it must have got whacked pretty good. And so they had to call and get people to come and take it. Of course, my asshole neighbor comes with a hacksaw and takes the friggin' antlers off the thing. Like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, it's just, I hate people like that.
Add it to his ivory collection from the elephants.
When you drive down Route 18, like going towards New Brunswick, you see dead deer with no heads on the side of the road all the time. Like any deer that gets clipped, like people just pull over and chop their heads off so they can. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
RFK Jr.'s just cruising around Central Jersey.
Exactly. Yeah, so we do get. I mean, it's not nearly as much as it used to be. Toms River, especially, is extremely developed now. Like every place that I used to play as a kid is now a fucking shopping center. But
I miss it though. I was telling you, Chris, the other day that I have this. I don't know what it is, but lately, you can catch anything live streaming now. So if you go onto YouTube, you can see like live streaming Seaside Heights, live streaming whatever. New Orleans. I have to be honest. There's a lot of mornings, man. I'll flip on Seaside for a few minutes when just watch like.
Really?
Sometimes I'll put it on and it's like 5 a.m. and there's like douchebags walking on the boardwalk just causing trouble, like the usual shit you would expect to see.
Sure.
But it makes you a little homesick though. But I do remember I was there. The last time I was in Seaside was probably 2 weeks before the big hurricane. 3 weeks
Oh, okay. So it's been a while.
It was a long time ago. And it wasn't the same in a lot of ways, just then even. So I could imagine now how different it's going to be when I take my kids there this year.
You're going to be so disappointed. It is not at all what it was when we were growing up. I mean, as far as little kids go, like you still have the boardwalk, you still have the arcades and all the games and all the rides and all that, but everything else, you'll notice it all. It's totally, totally different. And that's why, like, I was giving Bobby shit that day when he was like, I don't know if I can go on. I'm thinking about taking the kids my son to the fair. There's like, I guess, a local county fair going. I'm like, you grew up in Seaside, dude. You don't go to fairs and carnivals. Like, that's like the last thing we do. Like when my kids were little and they were like, can we go to the Ocean County Fair? Like, why? You spend all your time on Seaside. Like, and those rides are slightly less likely to fall apart while you're on them. The county fair ones, I don't trust those shit at all.
I won a Parisi jersey last time I was there, and I got rid of that actually. So I remember like when we were there, Chris, working on the boardwalk for those years. It was awesome at that age because you had like then there wasn't all downloads and all this stuff. So you would go to like Union Jacks and get a record or a CD.
Sure.
You're like everybody knew each other, man. Like I don't know, even working weekends. Think about it. Like we were how old, Chris? 16, 17, 18 around this time period.
Yeah.
Girls everywhere. I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, when you're a young guy, I always tell my wife now, I said that was probably the coolest place to grow up. And it wasn't as corrupt in the winter. It was more corrupt in the summer. It felt like. But I loved it, man.
I feel like our age group was, we kind of missed a lot of shit as far as like all the tech savvy kids that are kind of younger than us that have a lot more life skills for today's world as opposed to us. But I think the time frame that we grew up in, like we were young, early teenagers in the 80s, right? Which was just awesome.
Awesome.
Anywhere you wanted to go, you just hopped on your bike, you went. Our parents didn't give a shit about anything. That's
cell phones weren't everywhere because goddamn,
they were nowhere back then.
Like by dummies now.
You'd come home and like your mother would tell you that, oh, Tony called, and then you call and
tell him I'm not home.
Hi, Mrs. Anderson. This is
that fucking guy
available.
Again.
Like you'd have to call and like talk to parents and shit. And then we go into high school in the 90s, which everything changed in the 90s. The music scene became awesome. Like that was a great time to be older teenagers and early 20s and stuff. We did have the coolest era. Because I feel like
shows
kids nowadays
were fucking great. Think about high school, Chris. The stuff that was coming out, Gish. I mean, all those albums from all those bands, man. It was just all.
It was an amazing time.
Yeah,
it was an amazing time, and I wish that I wish I knew it was an amazing time back then. Because you're always looking forward or behind. But anyway, I digress.
Then the Devils won the cup, and then you go to the 2000s, and then everything changes dramatically. And
now we won 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the advent of social media, Devil's Twitter is going to fucking kill itself. Like,
what are they upset about now? They're always upset. That's why I stay off of it.
There's a group of people that are upset that Jack isn't getting bigger this summer, with no evidence that he's working out, except for one. He put like his buddy posted one picture of them like out for cocktails, and that was interpreted that he's not doing anything to work out or get bigger. It's ridiculous. That was juxtaposed against a picture of Connor Bedard, who looked bigger. So then another guy jumped in, was like, you guys are being like this stupid. Is fucking weird behavior. And then another guy jumped on top of that. And then Ace and JP Gambitis were at each other's throats last night. And now someone new.
What were they fighting about? It was like mom and dad of Devil Twitter and
well, I was I was thinking about jumping in and being like, all right, I'm gonna pull this fucking car over if you guys don't stop.
Well, what were they arguing about?
It's sort of in a similar vein, but JP uses a lot of analytics and Ace doesn't think they're very worthwhile. So there's something about Daniel Sprong and like JP saying like, hey, this may be a decent pickup, and Ace being like, you're a fucking idiot, and then JP being like, no, you're the idiot. No, you're the idiot. So I was like,
you are.
I don't know, and no offense, who's Jay? Do I know JP's show? Or is
he doesn't have a show. He's a writer. So he did like that.
Ace, I do love his show, man. Because
I do too. I do too.
Like Ace thinks, you can really feel the fan.
Ace thinks like us, and like they were like, I was gonna jump in because my mind is somewhere right in between the two. JP leans into analytics a little bit more than I do. Ace leans away from analytics more than I do. Like, and this is something I want to actually talk about it a little bit. Is like the analytics conversation. It isn't either or. It's not like analytics are the only answer and the eye test is the only answer. That is
And real
both
quick,
of those.
I think this podcast does a decent job of that aspect because you are very analytical, much more than all of us on the show. And I think Bobby is a little bit too, but I'm not. I'm more on Ace's side. I think Tony is too, as far as like, I don't put a ton of stock into them, a lot of them, but I also think like there's enough respect and we all make enough good points to kind of not get at each other's throats. Like it can't be a fucking, like you said, it has to be a give and take. Like you have to be able to look at analytics, I think, with a grain of salt and in certain situations, but to live and die by them only is not a way that you want to ever run a team or anything like that. I mean, you see it in certain franchises that just run straight up analytics, and most of them aren't successful. So
I think what kills me as a Devils, as a hockey fan, and like, doing a podcast in general, like, which I've always said this, which is great because we have Tim and Bobby that kind of do lean that way more. That's what usually kills, like, the analytics. As a Devils fan watching it makes me crazy sometimes. So it's good to hear from someone else. Like, before I did a podcast about this stuff, like, I always live with die with the Devils, but now you have to like be critical, or now you have to say this or say that, where before you just kind of turn off TV and say, okay, tomorrow, hopefully we get a win. Now you got to dissect shit. So Tim, I really like, I'll even say this, man, like, and Chris knows this. When I first found out Tim was going to be coming on here, I almost jolted. Nothing against Tim at all, but I was just like, when we first started doing this podcast, well, when Chris started doing it, there was 2. Then there was 4. It was the same guys that we all grew up with. So I was kind of like, well, if it's not going to be that lineup, I don't want to do it.
I know.
I was like,
I talked to my therapist about it, Tony. We're past that.
Besides his obsession with Dougie and the sock named after Dougie next to his bed, I think Tim's great. I mean, the Amish want to kill him, but I mean,
because I'm fucking hilarious. And
Bobby and I said it. He's his personality. I don't mean to speak like you're not here, but like Tim fits in. Like it seems like a dude like we've known for a long time. And if he was a local, if you went to our high school, you definitely would have been friends with us. Like
we would have teabagged you. I mean, yeah. No, but yeah, dude. Hang on. At first, I was.
I'm ready. Give it to me.
You got the hair.
Give it to me, sir.
Are your tips highlighted? What's going on there?
No, that's gray. I'm going gray. Okay. That's gray hair.
Tony's got a lot of gray going
when Tim first came, I was like, oh man, but no, dude, it's
well, and that's the thing. Is like, and like there are some there's some analytics I think in like numbers that are kind of nonsense, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't just use one number to try and build an entire case about. And I think that's what JP's case for Daniel Sprong was, that he was one of the most efficient scorers at 5-on-5, meaning that he was like 4th or 5th in the entire league in points per 60 minutes. So
that's a super small sample size, though. Like he didn't have a lot of games in the league.
But leaning heavily on one stat to say this is a really, really good move, which I don't think JP was really doing. But Ace is like so against that, the second that he saw that. So my thing about analytics is a lot of them are counting stats. It's not just like made up numbers. They are things that happen on the ice. And if you take them in totality and you could build out a story using them. So like one of the things like that I've been kind of harping on is Seamus Casey, right? He had objectively a very lucky season because you can look into his numbers and be like, oh, there's some real red flags here. Then you go and you take those numbers and you go back, then you rewatch it and you're like, oh yeah, some of the things that happened were pretty problematic. Same with Dougie. It's like, when I was looking into in that blog, I was writing about his speed because I was ready to be like shred him because he's slow as shit. Then looking into like the actual speed numbers that he has, which is actual biometric tracking from a chip in his jersey. So it's not like those aren't like a fucking dude with a radar gun measuring him every now and then. That's actual like biometric tracking. I realize he's gotten faster. His top speed has gotten better every single year. And then the speed burst stuff can be a little dicey to deal with, and I think it's still kind of a new process. But there's one subset of those speed bursts where it's like, oh, that's where he looks slow. It's because he can't accelerate. And I took that number and turned it into what you're seeing on the ice. And that's what I think the gap is that you can take in analytics, and oftentimes it will tell the story of what's happening on the ice if someone can explain it. You can't just be like, oh, his expected goals is this and just leave it there. It's like, that's not good enough. Like, that's not enough of a story. You need to look at context. And should Timo's expected goals be the same as Nate Bastian's? If they're shooting from the same place, would you rather have Timo shooting or Nate Bastian shooting? So, there are contextual things that analytics doesn't necessarily capture. So anyway,
I agree. It absolutely has a place, the same way, the eye test does, all that stuff. But to live and die solely on that hill is probably not the best thing. And I love JP's writing. I read his stuff all the time. I mean, he's so in depth, and I like that because, like you said, it builds a story. I don't read it and take every single thing and live and die by those metrics, but it does build a story. Like, that kind of explains why Dawson Mercer is whatever, or whoever is what. It does build a little bit of a story, and I do like that. But I also think that it has a place, but it should not be the end all be all.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, use it to tell a story of what's happening on the ice to then justify the analytics and saying, like, what you're seeing, these are the numbers behind it. And sometimes once you start getting familiar with the numbers, you can look at one and be like, that's really fucking bad, and can then go back and watch video and realize why it's bad. Look, I know there's a large contingent of people that don't like them, but like, every single team in the league uses them. The league itself is leaning heavily into it. Absolutely. The guy that kind of invented analytics in hockey is the assistant general manager of the Florida Panthers. So I think they're kind of doing something right there. And
assistant general manager.
Yeah.
See? You keep him just a step below, and you get all his input, and then you use your expertise as Zito does, and build the team.
Yeah, exactly. He will come to Zito with an argument, and Zito will make the final decision. But I think eventually. But you look at Tulsky in Carolina. He started
and why they're fucking frauds, because Tulsky is a goddamn analytic only general manager, and that's why that team are a bunch of fucking frauds, and they're not going to win the cup again this year, except we're going to be the team that knocks them out.
Yes, exactly. Like, it will take you only so far.
Yeah.
I remember listening to your guys' prediction show a few weeks ago. Actually, I fucking wish I remember some of the predictions. I was like, what? I think, man, I need to, like, 2 weeks ago, you guys went through the conferences, I believe. And I was listening to it. I was cutting my grass actually because I missed the show.
Who's going to be a better team?
Oh man, I need to remember some of you guys' picks, because there were some of them I was like, what? How could he say that?
Was that when we were doing this team's better than that team? Or
yeah. You were doing that.
Well, to be fair, Chris kind of sprung that on us, so like,
I thought it might be a fun little.
I think Chris. I'm always surprised with Chris's. Like, Chris does not like. I can't stand the Carolina Hurricanes, but I always find, like, sometimes I think they're a little bit better than we think they are. Like,
everybody does.
I know, but what about Chris? You have the opposite opinion, kind of. That when I hear you're like, fucking, they're overrated. They're this. I kind of wish I could agree with you, because sometimes I'm like, man, something they're doing is not getting them to the top all the time, but getting them right there.
But that's it, though. I mean, that's where, like, in a lot of sports, we take football. I mean, Timmy, you're a Raven fan. Like, it has to get to a point that, you might have a great team, but that great team is never going to win. And if you're never going to win, then how great were you? And
you're going to murder people if you're Ravens, but
I know my standards for football players and hockey players on my favorite team are vastly different.
I feel the same way.
I was kicking around ideas for my fantasy football team name, and one of them was Tucker's Massage Emporium.
I like that one. Also, we're going to say here on this show, we are doing a Uncle Pucker survival pool on Yahoo. It is totally free. Anybody can join. You guys sure know the rules, but a survival pool is you pick one team to win in the NFL every week. If that team wins, you move on to the next week. I think you get 2 losses before you're eliminated. You cannot use that team more than once. So there's a little bit of strategy to it. You don't want to take like the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, Bengals, or maybe the Bengals right off the bat. You kind of want to wait, hold on to them for the good teams later. But anyway, it's free. The winner is going to get a nice little Uncle Pucker gift basket, probably a Randy Belichick signed puck, possibly even a jersey, and a few stickers going there. Yeah, stickers. I'll put the link today up on X and on Blue Sky. Just go in, log in, make your team, hop on, do it every week, and the winner, and talk to us, let us know. We'll talk about it more throughout, up till the season, which is actually only 2 weeks away. But I'll put that up there today. So I hope that you guys hop in and play. It should be a ton of fun.
Yes. Is this something you have to go against your team, Chris? Like you pick against the Vikings when you feel like
I try not to. Like when I did it a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, when they were bad and they were playing like, Buffalo. Yeah, I'll take Buffalo. But I try not to. I try to wait. Like I took the Vikings actually last year, week 1 against the Giants. But I think I was bounced like week 5 or 6 before I even had a chance to use Minnesota. So
yeah, and the better teams I always try and keep in the hopper.
Yeah, exactly. And I was listening, Timmy, the other night. You were on. Oh, he's off now. He's going to hop back in. But he was on Running with the Devils with Ace and Trey Matthews the other night. And before he went on, I was listening to it a little bit with Trey and Ace. And I agree with most of what Ace says. I didn't agree with, they were having an argument about Fitzgerald, and I want to discuss it with you, Tone, because I know where Tim stands on this. But they were bashing him. Like, he didn't do anything this offseason, and he's this and that. And my counter argument to that is, show me a deal that was made that we could have gotten a guy, and he didn't. Like, there just wasn't anyone available. Now, I will give him a knock because there are some trades out there you probably should make. But at the same time, we don't know what's being discussed or what has been discussed and been denied or whatever. You need 2 teams to make a trade. So I'm not so hard on him because it's not like Tuck moved. It's not like McCann moved. And all these guys that we wanted ended up on different teams, and we never fucking had a chance at him because our general manager had his thumb up his ass the entire time. I don't feel like that happened. I feel like there just hasn't been anything going on. Like, if you can knock Fitzgerald the same way you can knock 31 other GMs for the moves that they didn't make this offseason. Do you agree, Tone?
Is it only this offseason we're talking about?
They were talking about this offseason, yeah.
I have this thing with Fitzgerald that, and it includes this offseason, but I have to bring up the last 2 off seasons too, especially the last one prior to this one. I feel like you have to give to get. And I felt like if we would have given certain players that people don't want to see leave this team during the offseason, we may have gotten some guys that could have made the team better. I think and I'm the same way. I get stuck on certain players you don't want to see. I'm not going to say we should trade Jesper Bratt, but you don't want to see a Jesper Bratt leave. You don't want to see these guys go. Or some people don't want to see a Mercer go or a Hamilton go. But I felt like Fitzgerald's not willing to do shit like when it comes to like really pulling a trigger. And I think I'm used to like Lou, where you would lose people that you didn't want to lose to get guys that actually help the team win in the long run. So I have to agree with them. Also the timing on how he does things. Like we talk about Carolina. Well, Carolina's making moves 2 months before the trade deadline or 3 months before the trade line.
Yeah. Colorado did the same thing.
Yeah. Devils aren't doing that. And it frustrates me because I know, and I get we're a Devils podcast and I'm excited for the hockey season. I'm hoping that we're better this year. But nothing that we've done this offseason has me confident going into the
my knock on Fitzgerald is that I don't think he has balls. Like exactly what you just said. I just don't think he has the balls.
You think it's ownership at all?
I don't think it's ownership.
He's spent to the cap except for the LTIR stuff, which that's
ownership.
That I tinfoil hat put on ownership.
And it probably is, I mean, if they probably don't want to take another $12 million, $15 million out of their coffers to put towards the team. And all right, fuck you. I think that, but it's when you have ownership that owns 3 professional sports franchises, and one of them's the NBA and the other one's an NFL.
Oh.
The NHL franchise is probably the one they're looking least at. You know what I mean?
They own an
Which kinda
EPL
sucks.
team too, don't they? Do they own
What's
an
that?
EPL? Do they own an English Premier League team too?
I don't think so.
No, the Bucks
They
did,
might.
right? The Glaziers did. They owned one of those teams.
I know the Cons that own the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know they own an English Premier football team.
But I think for us to say that, and I was thinking this actually a couple episodes ago, because I do try to listen sometimes when I'm not on the show. I think that us as Devil fans sometimes give the team more credit than it's worth of what's been done, since last year, since before, I'll say pre-deadline last year to now. And I feel more nervous as a Devils fan because I feel like I don't know if we're better at all than we were last year going in.
I think we are. I think absolutely
I don't
we are.
know. I want to
And-
think so. But when I look at
and
the big picture, when you're playing some of these other teams, I'm like, I look at how they're stacked or how they're built. It makes me worried.
Well, I mean, the thought of we keep going over this roster and going over who's slotting where, and we have no fucking idea. But
Who knows?
the two guys that always seem, one of them is always left off, and it's always these two guys. Sometimes Palat's left out, sometimes Mercer's left out. It's just I don't see a solid spot for either one of those guys. That'll solve a lot of your problems. Package them the fuck up and go get somebody. Like we said,
Right.
like Mason
Dawes,
McTavish.
throw him in the packet. I'm sure if you put
Right.
some,
Like, what about a
lose him for
Dawes?
nothing.
Like, who's the backup to Dostal in Anaheim? Is it fucking
I think they just signed Mrazek.
Billy Vuso, or is it?
Let me look.
I think it's him, but I'm not 1,000% sure. But anyway, Dawes.
But
is
didn't you think,
probably
Chris,
better.
with Lou, you might lose a guy you love, but
Yeah.
the pieces that were bought in were two
Absolutely.
pieces that built something that was what you needed. The pieces, we talk about how big a piece of Neil Broughton was and guys like that back in the day. How these little moves, Sean Chambers, these things that you do. You hate to see some guys go, but if you could get I mean, we all like Dawson Mercer, but say if you got a couple key players to fill those spots, I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, let's say you did package Dawson Mercer, Andre Palat, Nico Dawes to Anaheim for Mason McTavish. I mean, that. Go ahead, Tim.
So Anaheim, yeah, sorry, I just looked up their roster. So they did trade for Peter Mrazek. So they have Dostal, Mrazek, and Billy Huso. And their goaltending it cost them $13 million.
They don't need a goalie.
That's the other thing. It's like Dawes needs to clear waivers. So like if they trade him to a team that is going to put him on waivers, like that does nothing for the team that traded for him. So I was looking around what teams actually need a goalie. I mean, Edmonton certainly does, but I don't think Edmonton would throw Dawes to the Wolves and start him immediately. But
but he's a better backup than Calvin Pickard.
But it's like, what do we want from Edmonton? What do they have?
Connor McDavid.
Yes, 1 for 1, make it happen. Fitz is such a pussy; he can't pull that off. Like, what the hell?
Come on.
So looking around at teams that need a goalie, there isn't really much on that team that would come back the other way. Like Seattle has Decord and Grubauer, and they're making $13 million combined. Like if they bought out Grubauer to bring in Dawes, that would make sense. Like, but there have been no deals this summer. I get it, but like I've been a little displeased with Fitz because it just seems like he can only operate in sort of the traditional timeframes, building his team in the offseason, waiting for the trade deadline, and then not using LTIR.
And waiting for 5 minutes before the trade deadline's over before you make a fucking move. And when that move happens, it's Daniel fucking Sprong.
On the other, hey, the most efficient 5-on-5 scorer in the league.
We'll see where he's playing this year.
Yeah, exactly. On the other hand, some of the contracts he's signed have been very good, and he did address an area of need last offseason. At some point, it is on the players to deliver. Now, is it on the GM and the player department, player development, to identify and be like, hey, Eric Hall has really been hurt a lot, and that's affecting his play. Curtis Lazar continues to get these knee injuries. Nate Bastian sucks. I know people love McDermott, but like, why did we give him a 3-year deal? You know, why did we
question.
send a pick for Daniel Sprong when we could have gotten him on waivers? Why did we get Cody Glass earlier to kind of help bolster our lineup? Because Pittsburgh was trading people in January last year, and yet we waited until the trade deadline. It's like all these things kind of add up. You know, it was the goaltending 2 years ago. People are like, "Oh, well, what goalies were available?" It's kind of like, I don't know. That's not our job, but like it was a clear need.
And I kind of also feel like the last 2 seasons comes the trade deadline, Fitz panicked and he just made moves to like quell the fucking barbarians at the gate, so to speak. And I think that because, like you said, the Sprong move, you have a little bit of foresight that could have been done, picked off waivers. Glass could have been done a month or so earlier. You go Markstrom the year earlier, could have gotten done 2 years ago around Christmas time, and it wasn't done. Like there's a lot of stuff that I feel like he makes moves out of a panic and desperation because he sets his eyes on 1 or 2, usually 1. And if that doesn't work, he doesn't have a backup plan. We've talked about that a million times.
Well, Bobby put it really well. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim. Go ahead. I'll go after.
All right. So Bobby put it really well, where he said it's like you get a new CEO who comes in, lays out a 5-year strategic plan that everybody's like, hell yeah, I like that plan. And then every action he does goes completely against that plan. Like the one move where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Fitz, is when he signed Kovacevic at the deadline. It's like, why did you need to do that then? Because now, like, the ripple effect that has had is we can't sign Luke, and we have a right side that's full and very complicated because Kovacevic is hurt now. Like, if we actually traded Kovacevic at the deadline, which I kind of was like, I think we should maybe do that because he had a shit ton of value at the deadline. If we traded Kovacevic at the deadline, this season we're going in with Nemec, Pesce, and Hamilton on the right side. Like, that's a clean right side with Casey in the hopper. You know, now it's like, well, maybe Kovacevic is dead and we don't know what the fuck happened from him. You know, blink twice if you can hear me, Johnny. Yeah.
But if you look like this team right now, you look at the star players on this team, right? Any team that has Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Nico Hischier, Timo Meier, Jacob Markstrom, Dougie Hamilton, Luke Hughes, Brett Pesce. How's this team not winning? How?
Because you need to add and these names are not who you're going to add because you're not going to add these guys. You need to add a Marchand. You need to add a Tkachuk. You need to add a Fire. And that's the problem is, I think, with this lineup. And I'll tell you something. If you look at all of us, if you rewind the tapes back to 2 weeks before the trade deadline or a week before the trade deadline, none of us were excited. Because why? We knew they weren't going to do shit. We kind of knew it already just from the past. We all had this vibe. I remember us talking about it. None of us were like, fuck yeah, it's trade deadline. We were like, will anything happen, right? Talk about click your eyes twice if you're still alive or whatever. I think the thing is adding personalities. You think of teams that win championships, right? Like they have that personality. Look at New Jersey. Look at the Devils. Yes, Jack Hughes has a personality. Problem is he gets hurt. Unfortunately, well, some of
that's the problem
injuries.
For the whole fucking lineup.
Yes, but who is a guy that you look at on that team? Like, if you're a fan of anybody else and you're not a Florida fan, if you see Tkachuk on the ice, what are you like? Oh, this fucking guy. If you see Marchand, you're like, this fucking guy. Any of these guys. We don't have
and they're all in Florida. It's fucking crazy.
We don't have that dude, I don't think. Or someone's
Florida cornered the market on them.
Yeah.
You know,
we don't have that guy. I mean,
there are what, 5, 6 of them in the league. Florida has 3 of them. Florida has 3 of them. Then Brady, and then Tom Wilson.
Look when we won our championships. Claude Lemieux, you know, your McKay's. You had these guys with personalities. I like I said, love my team. But if I look at the Devils, if I sit and watch some post-game stuff or some pre-game stuff, I'm not seeing anybody really where I'm like, this guy's intense, man. Like, you hate this guy if you're not.
Let me ask you guys a question, because I know he's young and I don't know what's holding him back, but can Paul Cotter be that guy?
He could, but I think Cotter, I think he's a guy you recognize when he's on your team. If that makes any sense. Like, you know, if you're not a Devils fan, you probably don't think much about him when you play against, you know, him. Now, stats wise, you look
But-
at his back to the numbers, yeah, but I don't know if he
But
could
because
be. I don't know.
because he's only what, like 24, I think. I think
Yeah,
he's
something
pretty
like that.
young.
Yeah, he's still on his entry level contract.
So,
Cotter, it's not. I don't think it's like what Tony's getting at. It's like I don't think it's something that you can manufacture or develop like hockey sense or defensive
Yeah.
ability, or it's something you just have in you.
Brady
and-
Tkachuk,
and-
first year in the league, you saw it in his eyes.
Yeah, we don't
the
have
Kachucks are a different animal. I mean, they
we
were
don't have a
bred for
prick.
this
But
shit.
there's guys like that. Tom Wilson's like he
Yeah,
said. There's
yes.
guys like that. You know?
we don't have a prick that on the ice. We don't have a prick. Like maybe
You need
Dylan a
that.
little bit. Honestly, Markstrom's a fiery guy, but he's the goalie. So like,
and
we don't
Timo
have-
can be that guy. He's just not that guy all the time.
he's just quiet and wears nice suits and turtlenecks.
He is a
And
handsome son
socks,
of a bitch.
no socks
and
with those
you know,
boat shoes.
people Nico's
looks
a
good.
beast, but he doesn't. You
No,
know, like
Nico's not
guys,
that
guys. No, but like it's like the guys that will start shit after the whistle,
Right.
Just to start shit.
And Nico and Jack shouldn't have to be those guys because that's the
No.
problem. Is once they
No.
start having to be those guys, like you have to have that guy and let these guys concentrate on doing what they're doing. You know, like we talk about Jack getting hurt, where sometimes he's where he shouldn't probably have to be, but he goes there anyway and stuff. Like that's where those guys. I just think that makes a huge difference.
And I think that's part of like the reason why some of that contingent that doesn't like Brad is because he does seem a little bit robotic, and he doesn't do that at all. He's one of those guys that will probably be described as classy, you know, where like he doesn't start shit, he plays cleanly, and you know he you know you watch him score goals, it's like almost like he's fucking relieved. You know, it's not like he doesn't. You know, like you watch Ovechkin, even Ovechkin, every time he scores, and people say this all the time about him, like when his teammates score, he gets even more excited for his teammates scoring.
Right.
You know, and I do think that there's some level of that with Dylan and Pesci. Siegenthaler was a bit of a menace this year.
Nason
You know,
can
and-
play that way.
Yeah, Kovacevic got fighting lessons from McDermott and was aggressive early in the season. But like we had a little bit of that in the beginning of the year, and it just stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did just stop. And you know, I mean, I really hope that that he does pull something off before the season starts, but I in no way, shape, or form believe it's gonna happen.
And hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully they roll in the beginning. You know.
Well, you know, and then also I heard Ace and Trey talking about like Dodonov and you know, that he shouldn't be a top 6 guy and all this stuff. And I just don't know where else, like, who would you replace him with? Like, to me, if you don't have Dodonov and Gritsuk in the top 6, then you probably have Nason and Palat in that top 6 or Mercer and Palat in that top 6. And we know that doesn't work. So I'd rather see the unknown and see if it works as opposed to knowing that Palat isn't going to do shit with Jack and Brad and that, you know, Nason shouldn't be playing with Nico and Timo. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Go ahead.
And we've mentioned it before. Like they will be better. We're going to be a top 10 team in the league, but we're not
Definitely make the playoffs.
We're not in that. Like Florida's like number 1. Then there's a tier of like maybe 3 teams under that, and then a tier of maybe 4 or 5 teams under that. And we're in that tier. You know, we're not.
Yeah.
You know, it's Florida, and then maybe Carolina, Edmonton, Dallas, and then like us.
Fucking Carolina, no.
Chris
But
has
like- but
Carolina
like,
and the
in terms
Chiefs
of-
both hope for the playoffs. this
And
year.
yeah, and like look, and you know, regular season and playoffs are 2 different things, but this is for seeding to get into the playoffs.
We're winning the Metro this year.
Okay. But we didn't get any shiny new names that everybody wanted, that everybody was pining for. You know, everybody wants, you know, that shiny new toy. Meanwhile, we have like 5 or 6 names that you just rattled off, Chris, like sitting in a toy chest collecting dust that we seem to have forgotten about. Like we already have a very, very good group in place. And I think that's
Right.
what fits. Yeah, like we were fully healthy for 4 months last season. 3 of
Problem
those
is when we
months,
take those toys out, the wheels fall off or the legs fall off.
Yeah,
We just
exactly.
have to playing with them.
they're naked and have marker all over their face.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean, that's
Three of the 4 months that we were fully healthy, we were a top 5 team in the league.
and
That's
the thing
kind of
is,
how I
like,
look at it.
you look at the Devils or look at any team in the NHL, right? And when they have an injury, they have an injury. You know, oh, this guy's out for a couple of weeks. It's like when the bug hits New Jersey, it's like 10 guys are out, then they're going to be out all year. And it's like, I mean, it just completely decimates.
But the year
rest.
prior, we had no
Same
injuries.
thing.
It's crazy.
Same thing. And then this core group with minus on Timo Meyer, because he wasn't here yet, came later. The team stayed healthy all year, and they were 112 points and won around the playoffs. So, like, it's there. We saw it there. Now, to me, that is the most important thing. I will fucking say this all year long. Stay healthy. Jack Hughes, games played, 82. That needs to be the stat at the end of the year. And you got to keep, I understand you can miss a few games, but he can't be playing 60 fucking games this year. He
can't have a season-ending. He can't have a season-ending injury again. Like,
he's your Timo. Like, they have to stay healthy. And I think that if they do this year, I do think this team can really surprise some people.
Yeah, and what I was saying before about the 75% of the season when we were healthy, we were a top 5 team, but that was largely being carried by defense, goaltending, and a power play. That's all returning. Power play was top 2. Defense, we were top 5. Goaltending was slightly above average to good. And when we were a really good team, we were locking teams the fuck down. We went through that stretch of 7 games with under 20 shots against. Like, that's what wins. And the cracks in our team were our 5-on-5 scoring, which was largely because our depth sucked. So I think that's what Fitz looked at and was like, our 5-on-5 scoring and our depth sucked. And he fixed that. And he fixed that largely by just letting a bunch of NPCs go and bringing in guys that are better 5-on-5 scoring, that are faster, that play with a lot more pace, that will help bolster our lineup. And
would you rather go into a season needing what the Devils need? Maybe say, like, you could look at the holes, a few holes. Okay, 3C winger, top 6 winger. Like, there's 1 or 2 holes in this lineup. But would you rather go into the season where we are, or go into the season with question marks on the blue line, or question marks even worse in net? And these are things that we've done over the last couple of years. Like, I feel like we're in a pretty decent spot for our quote unquote needs, because the blue line and the defense and the goalies, that's set. And I think any Devil fan should feel really good about where we are from the blue line back. It's like you said, it's the depth. Those are pieces that the guys that came in maybe can do this. And we talked about it too. Like, there is a group of young kids that are going to be at training camp this year that might surprise. Have a legitimate chance to make their way onto this team. What if Shane LeChance ends up being a fucking dude, the dude that we're saying that we need, that gritty, big fucking asshole out there? What if he's that guy? You don't know. And then maybe you're not going to know this year, but maybe we do have him, is what I'm saying. Like, maybe, and this is all ifs and buts and all that bullshit, but I'm willing to sit back and see this team healthy, see what they do, and then I'll give it 10, 20 games before I'm bitching and moaning about trading.
I was going to say, I want to record this right now. They'll go the first weekend. It's all over.
Yeah. I have no patience. After game 1 and we lose to Carolina, I'll be like, they're winning the fucking cup. We suck.
The group chat is all nooses.
It's an interesting question, because it's like, what if we do make a move for Mason McTavish?
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, we sign him to a 7x7 because he needs a new contract. We give up Palat, we give up Nemec, and we have Dougie Pesci Casey on the right side. And we go into the season and it doesn't work. And it's just like, well, now we're really fucked, because this was supposed to work. And I feel like we're in that a little bit with, like, Timo was supposed to be that finishing move to an extent. And he hasn't fully delivered on it. I get there are circumstances around that, but that's a thing, and the next blog I'm going to write is about the type of player that we should, and I've said this a million times, the type of player we really should have in the top 6 to complement the 4 guys that we have, which I think is a guy like Dadonov. Like, it's a guy who scores 20 goals at 5-on-5, who has good pace, good hands, can play with those guys, but doesn't need power play one time to produce outstanding numbers. Only 4 forwards get to play on that power play one, and we have them.
I think that's an excellent point that not a lot of people are talking about. When they're not thinking about that. You're the only person that I've heard talk like that, and I completely agree. Go out and get Mason McTavish, and then you have that problem with the power. Like, we have our power play set. We know how good our power play can be. It's complementary. That's what you need now. Build around the edges. Dodonov could be that guy. What are you going to say, Tom? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, another thing that worries me too is, which I actually have to piggyback off of Ace actually from season. I've heard him say this before, is with Nico. Well, we have 2 more years with him. We don't know. You don't start winning. I mean, we love Nico. We feel like he should be, as fans, we're like, Nico's our guy, right? We love him. But eventually, man, if you don't see things changing, who's to guarantee that he's going to come back here? Which sucks. I mean,
nobody is. That's why if I was Tom Fitzgerald in that management, I'd be looking to extend him right now.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about the salary cap. You got him online. You got him on the hook for 2 more years. So his new contract wouldn't kick in for 3 more years. You have that last opportunity that you can actually give somebody an 8-year deal. I'd be fine. Give Nico Hischier an 8-year deal, pay him $9 million a year, starting 2 years from now, and lock him up. And then for the next decade, Nico Hischier's on this team. I don't think any Devil fan would have a problem with that. What about you, Tim?
I've been thinking about that a lot too, man. It's like,
I think it's smart. Lock him up now. Just get it over with.
Sorry, I had it saved on my phone. I had to email it to myself.
You'll get there tomorrow.
No, yeah. It's still so weird. I want to pull up something which because when I joined Ace's show in progress, one thing I said about this whole Nico conversation.
I think you upset Trey Matthews with the F-bombs all the time.
Like he was just taking it back.
Yeah. I don't cuss on my show.
Yeah, I was like,
is that what he said, really?
Yeah.
We fucking do.
I was like, we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Dead Amish kids. We're talking about everything here.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me show you something.
Speaking of, while he's looking for
let me show you something.
You see that D died from What's Happening, right?
D died from What's Happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Childhood is gone, man. Everyone's dead.
Well, Rerun's not.
And so Shirley. Shirley's dead. Rerun's dead. And D's dead.
What about Roger?
Roger's still alive.
Who's the other one?
What the fuck?
What's the other guy's name?
What was the fucking...
The dorky kid. It was
Dwayne.
Dwayne,
right?
Yep. Okay. I'm sorry, Tim. What's this little graph you got going here?
It's how, so this is all NHL forwards with 500 even strength minutes for the last decade, right? And this is how their scoring falls off as they get older. The bottom axis is age, and then the top axis is scoring relative to their peak of their careers. So you could see Nico's already in, based on, Nico could be an outlier, but based on how NHL forwards age, it starts to drop off around 27, 28 already and into the 30s. So
why you're great, Tim. You have a chart like this.
So are you saying you wouldn't sign Nico Hischier to an 8-year
No,
deal?
I absolutely would sign Nico Hischier. What I'm saying, this really means like I don't think people like Ace is doing it, and I totally agree with Ace. Is like we're in like the 23rd hour here, like of this group of guys, because Timo's 29, Nico's about to be 27, Brad's 27. It's like these guys are going to start aging out of their peak offensive production years. So like we're at a shit or get up the pot year this year. We've said that before. But it's like these guys need to fucking put it together this year. Jack needs to not die. And I feel like Tony was talking about this. It's like we don't feel well insulated against injury. Yeah. Like we don't feel like if someone gets hurt, we don't have like a good next man up. I don't think.
When Jack went down last year, you knew it was done.
Yeah. And unfortunately, our best, most talented player happens to be fucking fragile. And he's in this cycle of continuing to get hurt and not being able to insulate against that injury because he got hurt, year after year after year. But if he stays healthy and has a full season, Nico stays healthy, Timo finally produces like he does, Brad continues to grow, we keep Dougie and he gets back to his ways and doesn't get hurt. That's been the injury. That's been the issue with Dougie is he keeps getting hurt. Like,
Yeah.
I think we fixed one of the biggest flaws that we had last season. There was a lot that went right. There's a lot that went wrong, but a lot that was right about this team didn't necessarily need fixing.
And
The depth scoring needed fixing.
Right. And but I also think a lot of Devil fans remember only the bad of last year and the way last year ended. And
December on.
Yeah. I mean,
it's recency bias.
Yeah. So like, remember when everybody was healthy, how good this team was, and they were beating teams like Florida in back-to-back games and beating teams like the Hurricanes. And that's the team that we are. But I think this year we are better because of the depth scoring. I do think our bottom six is head and shoulders better than it was, especially if you do slot guys. Like if we do go into a third line center, that's Connor Brown, Glass, and Palat. That's your shutdown center. That's your shutdown line, rather. That's a great line to have. I'm fine with Palat on the team if that's his role. I do not want him up in the top six. I also think I have my druthers. I want him gone. But regardless, this team.
I need to get going.
All right. So yeah, we'll wrap it up anyway. It's been an hour, and it's Sunday, so everybody.
My problem is more. I just had a huge bucket of coffee. I need to.
You're crowning.
Yeah, I got a trailhead poking out here.
Well, Tim's got to go dump out, so we're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. Check X and Blue Sky. I'm going to put the link up for the survival pool today. So hop in, start a team, talk some shit. We'll have some fun. Winner gets a cool little New Jersey Devil care package that we'll send to you. Where if you're watching the video on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Yes, Tom?
When is the next draft? The next
time that Bobby's here. So probably, I don't know,
fucking
Thursday.
guy's going to pick the black cover, dude, from Metallica. You can't be, I mean.
The little snake makes it perfect.
Yeah, that's what he's going to pick.
Simple,
I know.
Simple, elegant.
We'll do our snake draft of the week on Thursday. Hopefully Bobby is back. I'm sure he had a big party last night at his house. So I'm sure
I have an emergency. I love you guys. Fuck you, Bellcat.
Yeah. Later, Tim. Be good, buddy.
Later, Tim.
All right. So, we're going to wrap it up. So wherever you guys are listening to, you can find us on any podcast form, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. Hit a like, download, subscribe. All the other stuff does help the podcast, especially on the YouTube channel. Leave some comments. Come and talk to us. It apparently helps the old algorithm. I hate that word, but it does. So, for Tim, who's now dumping out, I'm Chris and Tony. We are the Uncle Puckers. We'll see you when we see you.
Peace.
It's over, Johnny. It's over!
This guy, Steven, he's